Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our first meeting of January of 2025. It is January the 16th, 2025. I want to welcome, we have a new member with us here tonight. Her name is Deborah Elbert. She is here. She used to live in Tampa, but she now lives in Charleston, West Virginia. And she decided she wanted just to have a little bit of Tampa, you know, she missed Tampa so bad she had to join a club from Tampa, but fortunately because we were on Zoom, she was able to do that. Just let everybody know what kind of photography you do, Deborah.
So I do strictly wildlife photography, mostly Africa, India, the poles.
And your front yard, which is behind her.
Yeah, this is my front yard behind me. Not right now because the bears are hibernating, but from a few months ago.
Awesome. And we have two guests tonight. Andy Hunter contacted me before Christmas and asked if he could check us out. So, Andy, can you unmute yourself and just let us know what kind of photographer you are and where you're located?
Sure. Hello. So I'm in Lakeland, Florida. I've been here for a while. Um, I do a lot of video. I don't really do much photography yet. Really, the only photography I do is macro photography is what I've kind of been picking around at so far.
Oh,
Um,
awesome. All right.
so yep. Thank you very much for having me tonight.
No problem. I'm glad you just be forewarned. We get a little crazy sometimes on this exhibition night. So it's crazy good, but we have a good time. Anyway, Julia, tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from and what kind of photography you do.
Hey, so I am Julia. I live in Tampa Heights area in Tampa. Um, I haven't done photography for a little while. I did a lot of like portraits. Every other year I go to India to an orphanage to take pictures there, headshots and candids and all that kind of stuff. I also love macro. Um, but yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. All right. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, but I've got a bunch of announcements. So we're the beginning of the year, so we got a lot of stuff going on. The assignments for the year have been posted on the website. If you go to this, not the first page where all the blog posts are, but if you go up to the top, click on the menu, and go to the second page, it's like right close to the top where it says monthly assignments listed or whatever, something like that. All of those are all listed there. You just scroll down a little bit, and each month there is a description that Jim took a lot of time to put together so that you have a good idea of what we're looking for. So please, please take advantage of those descriptions and read them, because it will help you with, even if it's something that's, in August, read all that stuff, because if you know what we're going to be looking for later on in the year, if you run into that while you're out there taking photos, you'll be ready for it because you know what we'll be looking for that particular assignment. So take a look at those. The assignment obviously for this month was creative use of textures. For next month in February, it's multiple exposures. There is a long explanation for that. Please read it. In March, it is redemption, minimalism again. Okay, this is the third year I think we've done it, and every year we have issues with minimalism. So there is another very long description that Jim put together there, and also a link. Click on the link and go look at what minimalism is. It's actually pictures. So you're forewarned. In terms of education nights, this month we have Shelley Corbett coming in. She is a very well-known photographer. She shoots toy photography, but her toys are all in like scenarios. So if you want to take a look at her website, it's Shelley, spelled Shelley, Corbett, Corbett photography. And she does workshops. She does a lot of. I actually met her on one of the online conferences, and she uses mostly Lego toys, but there's, you can use other, little action figures and stuff like that. But she puts them into little scenarios that you can do in your yard or in your house. So she's going to be talking to us about that this next week, next Thursday. So hopefully you can join us for that. In February, I don't see Tony here tonight. Tony Gomes, who's a member, as you guys know, he's big into not only macro photography but micro photography. He's going to be talking to us about that next month. So that will be in February. In March, Jim Sykes is going to be talking about using blend modes in Photoshop. So we've had a lot of discussions about this. He's talked about it briefly at a couple of our at his potluck photo dinners. And so we were going to get into a little more detail with that. And it's actually, it kind of came into play with our texture combining, with a picture for this assignment. But he's going to get into more details with it as well and show you the benefits of using using blending modes. We've set up a few outings. Guys, it didn't go with us on Saturday. We had a good time at Disney. It did not rain. It was a little cold when we were out on the lake on the boat, but I was telling them I spent, I think, $40. We didn't have to pay to park. We didn't have to pay for any of the transportation. We found an inexpensive place to eat at the Polynesian Hotel for lunch, and then we went off campus and we ate out along I-4 at a Longhorn Steakhouse, I think, which I think I spent $40 the whole day. So we had a great time, and we ran around all over the place, and we're on the monorail, we were on the bus, we were on the boat, and the Grand Floridian Hotel this is where that car that's behind me was, and it is a beautiful building. So even, inside and out. So anyway, our next outing will be on February the 12th, which I think is a Tuesday. I can't remember which day of the week it is during the week. And it's the Florida State Fair. We will be doing this in the evening. And we've done this the last few years. Usually we decide to do it at the last minute. We decided to go ahead and plan it this time so that more people hopefully can attend. Usually we meet around 6 o'clock-ish at a certain point at the fairgrounds. And then we kind of run around. It's one of those places where you want to bring a tripod. We'll do long exposures with we get all great time having with the rides moving around and things going up and down and things going all over the place. And we have it's a good place to try to do long exposure photography. This time we usually don't use our tripods, but this time usually use the tripod.
It's a Wednesday, Lynn.
Is it Wednesday? Okay.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah. So I will be putting more details together on that and sending them out to y'all via email. I don't want to put that out on the website where other people could see it. This is for the members only. So once I get that together, I will send it out to the whole bunch of y'all. After that, March 21st through the 23rd is photo camp. Those of you that are new to this, we actually go camping. We'll be at the Withlacoochee State Forest, which is a Tillis Hill campground for Friday and Saturday night. If you don't want to camp, that's fine. I don't camp. I usually go up there early on Saturday morning. And Saturday, we will be going to Homosassa Springs for our photo walk. Come back to Tillis Hills for lunch. And usually we have a really lively and interesting discussion during lunch that Robert takes care of. And then in the afternoon, we either kind of take, we can do a photo walk around Tillis Hills. We haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do Saturday afternoon. If the weather is cooperative, then we'll do some night photography because there's a big open area at the Tillis Hills that we can go out to and set the cameras up and shoot the sky. So that's sort of the agenda at this point. I will be putting together that on the website because we have to sign up for that. We have 5 campsites. And this time, the last few years, we haven't been able to bring, RVs. We only had tent sites. This time, either or. So, yeah, and it's obviously first come, first serve, but we can, Lee, how many people per spot can we have?
2.
Two,
Well, 2 tents
two tents or two,
per sites.
like an RV and a tent or two RV. Yeah.
Yeah, RV in a tent or 2 tents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two structures,
Yeah.
Two
Two structures per site, and we have 5
And-
sites.
and they do not count
Hammocks.
hammocks, sleeping
count
hammocks
hammocks
as a
as- yeah.
structure.
Yeah. Is there a
So-
number of, is there a
So if
limit
you
to the
sleep in a
number?
hammock like me, it doesn't count.
Yeah. So, I mean, how many people do they have a people limit?
8 per site,
8 per site, staying on the site, and then what, 2 vehicles?
2 structures, 2 vehicles.
2 vehicles. Okay.
And-
But
there's-
they have that
yeah.
parking lot.
Yeah,
that's
there's a
real
parking lot
nearby.
that's relatively close to where the sites are. So that's a thing. And we have like a potluck dinner on Saturday night, which we always have a lot because Jim's really good at making Jim and Leslie and Lee make a fire, and hopefully he'll bring the colorful stuff for the fire this year. That was fun
Yeah.
shooting that.
I've
But
also
yeah.
been doing some very interesting light painting things up there this year as well, if anyone's
Oh,
interested
cool.
in that, if the weather's decent at night. I've been doing some light painting of trees out there.
Cool. So yeah, so that's kind of the agenda for that. And again, I'll put more information about that on the website next month. Because you'll have to sign up. You'll have to sign up for camping because the sites are already booked and we've paid for them. That's part of what you pay. Your dues takes care of. And but we need to know who's coming. And also who's coming on Saturday, because we have to have a head count in order to make sure we have enough food, because the club pays for lunch on Saturday. Everybody then brings a dish to contribute on Saturday night if you're going to stay for dinner for the potluck. So that's kind of how it goes for photo camp. I don't know, how many years have we been doing this, Jim? At least 7 or 8 years, right?
Yeah, I set up the first one. I can't even remember how many years
Yeah, a
ago.
long time ago, yeah.
And
So-
yeah, we're going back to our roots. We're going back to the first place we ever did it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So the next thing after that is April the 3rd. Leslie, what day of the week is that? You got your
It
calendar up?
is.
No.
April 3rd is on Thursday.
Okay, that's right. It was a Thursday. So it's the first Thursday of April, and we're going to do what we're calling the Tampa streetcar hop. So that's where we're going to actually start in Ybor City, because the parking is a lot easier in Ybor City, and there's a parking garage close to one of the streetcar stops, and we will get on the streetcar and then ride around the circuit, the circuit that the streetcar makes, and that way we get off and obviously we can get off and do something in Ybor City. We can go to Water Street, which used to be Channelside. There's a lot of cool stuff over there to shoot. And then it goes through the thingy that it turns around on and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a kind of fun little adventure around downtown Tampa, or the water side of Tampa, the Channelside part of Tampa, and Ybor City. And this is on a weeknight because it's way too busy during the weekend. So that, again, I will send out information on that closer to that date. So put it on your calendar for April the 3rd.
Lynn?
Yeah.
If you're not married to Thursdays is usually a really hopping night in that area. You might be better off with a Wednesday or something like that, just based on my experience down
Why
there.
is it hopping on Thursday night?
I don't know, but it's like a Saturday night date night type thing but I'm just saying in general, that is really a hopping night. And the other thing that you may want to check around that time is if the Lightning are playing down there,
Yeah.
that makes it even crazier. So
Okay.
just putting that out there. I spend a lot of time there because my son lives down in that area. So,
Okay.
and I have to say a shout out to my friend Deborah Albert. My God, I didn't recognize her. I haven't seen her in years. So welcome to the club. Yay.
Okay. All right. Well, the board will get together and we'll figure out if we need to
Okay.
think about changing that date.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions about any of that stuff so far? All right. I've got a couple of slideshows I'm going to play real quick. The first one is from our last outing of 2024. I think there were 10 or 12 of us, and we went to the Florida Botanical Gardens for their holiday lights exhibit, and we had a lot of fun that night. It wasn't terribly cold. It wasn't terrible because I've been there last 2 years. One year it was hot, the other year it was cold and windy. This time it was just right. So we had a really fun time and had a lot of fun being very creative with doing ICM and long exposures and zoomings and all kinds of crazy things. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Where am I sharing my screen? Here we go.
And just real quick, April 3rd, there is no lightning game.
Okay, good. That's one good
First
thing.
and first and the 5th are, just in case you're gonna change it.
Okay.
Okay, let's do.
Leslie's on top of everything today, man.
You see my screen, guys?
Yep.
All right, let me go ahead and play this one. Okay, thanks everybody for doing that, sending the images to me. Let me go ahead while I've got Quick Player up here. I'm going to go ahead and the board decided to go ahead and continue the monthly member features. So our feature this month was done by Sylvia Hernandez. So I'm going to go ahead and whoops, hold on. It's quick time. All right, here's Sylvia's.
I don't see anything.
You don't see it? Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's blank.
Is it not playing?
It's all black.
The music, but that's all.
Okay, hold on a second. let me get rid of this other one. Thought it would come back up. Let me have to, it must have to be on this one. Hold on a sec. Open file. What I did, I opened up a second one. That's what happened. That's not gonna work. Okay. Can you see it now?
No.
No, wrong one.
Yep.
Oops. Yeah, that's the wrong one though. Wrong one. Open file. Let's see. Downloads. This one. There we go. How's that? Can you see that one?
You'll see the botanical garden.
Oh God. Okay, hold on. Let me start over again here. Try it again. So have two open at the same time. All right. Let's see.
Man, people
Yeah.
all over the country are watching you right now.
Yeah, I know. Watch it be fiddle fart around with all this stuff. Open with quick.
We
time
sure
code.
are. We're watching from Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now can you see it?
Yeah.
Ohio and everywhere
Yes,
else.
it's
Yeah.
there.
Can you
Yes, we
see?
see.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Right. Thank you, Sylvia. That was
Very
really
nice.
good. For those that
Very
aren't
nice.
aware, we
Excellent.
decided because we only see a couple of each person's each month, we decided to do a monthly feature so that we can each month we have a member share a little bit more of what they are about. So we've done this now since last February, I think. So it's been a lot of fun seeing what everybody has to offer. So thanks, Sylvia, for doing it this month.
The challenge is on. I nominate Chris.
Sylvia, where did you get the cheetah?
In Africa at Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens.
Unfortunately, at Busch Gardens, they have here in Florida, they have a cheetah. They have several cheetahs, but they do a cheetah run a couple of times a day, and it's pretty. It's a lot of fun to go and try to shoot them as they're flying by at 80 miles an hour.
That was a great shot.
Thank you.
What time did you get there to get that close to it? 'Cause
Well,
usually it's like,
I wasn't that close. Well, I was just like where everybody else is. you
yeah,
know,
because I mean, usually they're like lying 3 deep.
Oh, if you go with Jim McDaniel, you have to get there and stand for a half an hour, 45
Okay.
minutes and wait. So
All right.
that's the key, right, Jim?
I'll get there with the gym yet.
Yeah. Okay. Robert, do you have anything you want to add for tonight?
Yeah. Welcome to a new year of judging, commenting, and such. And just please understand that both Jim and I, even though we are professionals, we are simply giving out an opinion. It is not a law. It's simply an opinion with recommendations. So take that to heart, and I hope that everyone will continue to participate as you always have, from starting this day forward to December.
Thanks, Robert. Jim, I know you have some announcements.
Yeah, I'm excited for the new year, pushing a bunch of new things in the new year. For anybody that's interested, I can put the link to the website out, but I did post officially the April workshop on the East Coast for seascapes and seabirds. Already have a bunch of people committed for that, but there's plenty of room. And we talked about doing a videography workshop in March, and I needed a place for people to get together and edit around where we're shooting downtown. So tomorrow I'm signing the lease for a new studio in Hyde Park.
Woo!
And that's where we'll do it.
Congratulations.
So
Wow.
I'll be putting out the information for the videography workshop, but the dates are going to be 12th through the 15th in Tampa, shooting on location and working in my new studio.
12th through 15th, what month?
March.
Hopefully I could see by then.
Well,
I'm having
when is
cataract
the
surgery, guys, so
when is the April workshop?
the April.
April is seascapes and seabirds over on the Treasure Coast. I scouted for 3 days there a week ago.
What's the date on it? You have a date for it?
Oh, yes, I do. I will, let me, in fact,
13th,
Oh, you,
14th,
you,
give me
you
a
can send
second.
that. You can send that via.
the 13th through the 15th, Robert.
April 13th through the 15th.
Okay, gotcha.
What was April 1st then?
That's April Fool's Day.
I thought you, okay. I thought you said that the seascapes was April 1st.
No, April the 13th.
Jim, when was the video, please?
March 12th through 15th. And I do have some information that a lot of people may not know about yet that's good to know. Has anybody heard of the Explore Act, the new federal law that was passed on January 4th?
No.
This is important to know for all of you guys. It is a new law that says on federal lands, national parks, and national forests, as long as you have less than 6 people, you are now allowed to shoot commercially and non-commercially without the requirement of a permit. So you do not need a permit now for less than 6 people on a commercial shoot in a national park or a national forest. And 6 to 8 people can get an immediate use authorization without requiring a permit. As long as you don't interfere with other people in the park and follow the park rules, you do not need a permit. And for 6 to 8 people, you can be granted an immediate use authorization.
I assume that includes workshop groups, right?
Yes. Yep.
Which
Yep.
makes it a lot easier.
And it says, creating content for any media, even if you're a YouTuber or anything like that now, you do not need you no longer need a permit in national parks or national forests. It's a new federal law. It's called the Explore Act.
So
And
Jim,
I already downloaded a copy of it in my phone. It's section 125 is the applicable section for what we're talking about.
Jim, on March 12th through the 15th, can you give us an idea of where you're going to be shooting?
In shooting in Tampa and Ybor City, and doing editing and processing in my studio in Hyde Park that I'm signing the lease for tomorrow.
Sign me up.
Are you gonna
Hyde
are you
Park,
gonna come
ooh,
visit us from
upscale.
Colorado, Nona?
I really want to do the workshop on the video. I really want
I
to.
think you need to come. You can come.
I definitely. I would like to do April too, and I've been looking into that, but I really want to do March 12th through the 15th because I've shot a lot of video and I don't know what the heck to do with it, but I know Jim's trying to.
Yeah, we're going to do both on that. We're going to actually go out and do basic and specific camera techniques, film specific things, then do basic editing techniques and make a movie start to finish with transitions, audio, titles, etc.
Okay.
Well,
Cool.
that sounds awesome. If anybody wants to meet me, come meet me.
Nona, you can come stay with me.
Really? That's
Yes.
really nice of you. I have relatives there too, so I haven't figured that out yet. So
all right. Well, and let's talk about that offline here. All right, guys. Anybody else have any comments or questions about anything? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started on our exhibit and comments for tonight. Hold on just 1 second. Let me rearrange everything here on my desk so I can get to my score sheet.
By the way, if you're going to look it up, the official federal bill number for that Explore Act is HR 6492, and you want to read Section 125.
Read that one more time.
It's HR 6492, and Section 125 is applicable to photography on federal land.
All right, can you guys see my Lightroom?
Yep.
Yes.
That's the Grand Floridian Hotel at Disney World. That's where we were on Saturday. One of the places we were, just FYI. Okay, let's get started. All right, the assignment this month was creative use of textures, and we required that everybody send not only their submission image, their final image, but also the original photograph and the texture that they use. So I'm going to be showing basically to start off with all three images, and then I will give you the one image, the final image as a full screen. I am going to make all this other stuff go away.
Tab key will do that for you, Lynn.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so the first one is the final image. The second one should be on most of these, if not all of them, the original photo, and then obviously the last one is the texture. So this one happens to be mine. I did a lot of experimenting with my images, so that's why I ended up first. And the score is 24.3. So go ahead, Robert and Jim. And I was the third judge. I will pipe in when I feel like I should. And then anybody else, please don't hesitate to comment. That's, as always, the members are always welcome to have something to say. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the other two. And now you can see this one on full screen.
Yeah, that texture interacted well with your background. I see it's masked mostly out of the subject, but it does have a very nice interaction with the background, and which is a good thing. That enhanced this, and this is a good example of what the point of this assignment was about. So we'll see some others later where we kind of wound up without actual interaction of the texture. We're later down the road, we're going to see some here that there wasn't so much interaction of enhancement. There are cases of replacement where texture just wound up either replacing the subject or the background, but this is a good interaction.
My only problem, and that's because I'm a nitpicker, kind of guy is the lower right-hand corner where the line, the baseline is lost.
Oops.
What?
Whoops, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't know what I did. Here we go.
You say it's lost?
Yes, right on the if you go along the
What are you talking
baseline,
about
where
right
it
here?
separates- yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
the only area.
Yeah, it's just it's on my screen I can actually see it. It might not be coming through on Zoom. But yeah, it's very dark right there. What I had to do is I had to replace this whole area because as you could see in the other, whoops, wrong one. Me and my tabbies. As you can see in all right, what happened to my other image? It disappeared.
Chapter number 3.
Huh?
Chapter number 3 inside number 1.
Oh.
Go to number 1, the first image of chapter 3.
Yeah, well, it's gone.
Now chapter 3 inside the number 1
Yeah.
image.
Oh, it's unstacked. Oh, it's stacked
Right.
itself. Okay,
Mhm.
sorry. Unstack. Okay. Now it unstacked. Hold on a second. Now I just screwed everything up. Anyway, yeah. So
Go ahead
this
and hit-
one, yeah, you could see all this was bright, and so I had to darken it down. And I just darkened it too much. So
Okay.
I'm going to change that to 0. All right. So the next one is these 3, and this one is this is called Hazy Daisy. It's Tories, and the score is 23.8. I'll just leave the original up there. How about that? Is that all right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, again, this one has a nice interaction as well. It was a well-chosen texture for this to work with the background, and it does interact with the stems of the plants. So it's the only places where it doesn't interact, and it's what's going to happen when you do this. We covered this in both of the classes that we did about this. Is that anywhere where you have white without detail or black without detail, depending on the blending mode you use, that's where it's not going to interact. As if you have anything that's white without detail or black without detail, you won't have interaction in those areas one way or the other, in most cases, depending on the blend mode that you use. And that's okay in this one. When I say it's the center of the flower is nice and detailed, but it's a nice texture for this one. It played well with the background.
Thank you.
And I like
put a
the
mask.
yeah, I like the Ichiban in Japanese, in flower arranging. They always want 3 uneven numbers and having 3, and there's one kind of going off this way. In terms of just the general picture itself, I kind of like that as well. Go ahead, Robert.
Right.
I'm listening. Someone's about to say something. Oh,
What?
okay. All right. I wondered what this would look like if you had flipped the texture, so the light was coming in on the opposite side, and more of the texture was on the negative space on the left-hand side. It's just a thought, because the interaction of the texture across the middle,
Right.
of that texture there, I would love. Yes, if I was to flip that texture, I'd have more interaction.
So the dark side would have been on this, on
Yes,
the
yes,
side.
yes. And then the stem on the opposite side would have the light coming toward it.
Yeah.
So it's just a thought.
So,
Right.
Yeah. So that's the thing with the textures. I spent a lot of time spinning them around.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm like, it was driving me crazy. I tried 5 of them and I only settled on 1. So
You
But
can
if
you can even take one and flip it on itself and
Yeah.
put the transparency to 50%, and then and
again, yeah.
merge it together and and manipulate it that way too. So you get dark on both sides with some light in the middle.
Right. That's the observation I was thinking
Right.
of.
Yeah,
But
that's
if you look at the original picture, doesn't the light come in from the left side there? So I was trying to line that up with
yeah.
the original light actually. But But I thought it was kind of cool because it looks like it's up against like a wall or something, like an old painting. So it was a really fun assignment. I really think it was fun to do that.
Did you say the light was coming in from the left side?
Well,
Yeah, if you look
there's
at
a
the
bright spot.
original,
Yeah, there's a bright spot
I think she
here.
means there's a bright spot in the image.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I
that's
got
not
you.
necessarily the direction the light's coming
Yeah,
from.
that's what I was thinking. I was
Yeah,
like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it looks like the light is actually coming from.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, like if you flipped it, you would have light on both sides. So that would be kind of strange, I guess.
Well, it doesn't mean you have to show the light.
Yeah.
You can stretch it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next
Just a
three.
thought.
These three are. This is called Frosty Winter Morning. This is Lourdes's image. The score is 23.7.
Okay. There's a lot of texture here. And on my end, I'm not so sure if the texture is actually overpowering the statement you're making. Meaning
Yeah,
I
that's
have
kind of what I felt too. It was
Yeah.
too much, especially in the sky.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I like the intent of this, of that texture, making it look like it's a snowstorm starting to happen, and it could have been enhanced with what you guys are talking about by the part that's in the blue sky, taking down the opacity there a little bit, and even a nice blur on that to soften that more, and it would look more like snowflakes and even enhanced it. But I like the intent of what was done and what the artist was going for. But I agree with it being a little too much in the sky. That would be a case of just localized.
And at the very least, eliminate these
The
lines
things
that
that the
kind of go in the wrong
lines,
direction. Yeah.
because
that was the other thing
that detracts from the snowfall effect.
Right. Yeah. Robert, anything else?
Nah, that's basically it. Because the idea of texture is to actually enhance the image that's already there.
Now the bottom out of the sky, the
Yeah,
lower
that's
portion of the
fine.
image, it looks great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so you would have to probably create a separate layer to affect the sky by itself with a blur. So would have taken a little more work, but it's possible. All right, the next one is, oops. This one is called Bigfoot with Chicken Pox. This is also Lourdes's, and the score is 24.8.
Lourdes, I don't know what happened, but apparently you got some art in you.
This thing is awesome.
Great use of texture there.
That is totally awesome.
Yeah, is that something you photographed yourself to use as a texture, Lourdes?
I did.
That's great. That was
It looks like a sweater or something. Is that what it was?
It's that rug.
Yeah, a rug. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I was taking pictures of everything that I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do.
It's a great combination that worked together really well, and it has visual impact and humor to it. I got a big smile out of this one when I saw it.
And the title is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Wow. Any other comments, anybody? All right, Robert, you did have anything to say?
I did. I started it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just wanted to make sure you didn't get
Yeah,
left
this
out.
is that's a great example of what of what we were hoping to see from this assignment.
And obviously, this one is a much more intense use of the texture than some of the others can. It really depends on the image as how much it can take. I mean,
Yep.
if you had gone really light on this, it would have been nearly as effective. Where with the other image, the previous image, there was too much texture. And, so it really depends on there's so much that comes to play here between the original picture and the texture itself, and to get a final result that is impactful. So
And the other one I was looking at, like, it was kind of, if you can see it through a window.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
yeah.
That Lourdes, I want you to be careful of that part because that becomes a separate type of image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
How did you do the eyes, Lourdes? Because it doesn't have eyes on the original.
No, it's just that dot.
Add a couple of dots.
Yep.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Made it look a little more alive.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was missing that part.
Yeah. All right. That's and we did say you can make some adjustments to your image to make the final image beyond the texture. Like I did, I filled in that whole light section on the right hand side of the image. So it wasn't like you could just bloop, like, and for example, this one, you'll notice that there's no police car in the final image. So it was
it's a
that part
crop.
was
You can
eliminated.
still
Yeah.
you can still see from the front wheel to the bumper because of the crop.
It's a crop, yeah. So
Yeah,
you
it's a crop.
could have removed it, yeah. So this one is called Guitar Man. This is Karen's image, and the score is 23.7. So we've got like a wood, it looks like a chop of a tree, cross section of a tree stump. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I just spilled some all over my desk. Karen, this is a case of too much.
Okay.
All right, first of all, I want to crop this image, and we'll do that afterwards after everybody's done their deal.
So you still can talk about it? All right.
Yes, I want to talk about
Okay.
it. Yeah, I think it's a bit too much information. With the texture overlay, I'm not so sure that the wood texture is working for you or against you, because it's not enhancing the feeling that I'm getting from this lonely guitar player.
Okay.
Yeah, the actual blending technique, the technique of using the blending was done well, but it's a case of, like Robert said, does it help the image? I find in this case not so much, and I agree with Robert on the crop. There's unnecessary on the right hand side for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's crop it.
Yeah.
Where? Tell me where.
Stop just beyond the people. No, you go back. You can go back to the edge just a little bit. A little bit more. That's good. That's fine. Come up from the bottom, and there we have it. We can go somewhere.
I mean, I think I would take some of this
take a little bit more of that out.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a much nicer composition.
And if I just scale back on that, even if you use that, just scale back on it a little bit, I think it might work.
Even in this case, Lynn, just you see how that histogram falls short on the high end. Just go up, go up to your go up to the top to your basic controls and just boost the exposure. There you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's much better.
That helped it a lot.
And then you could have gone into Photoshop and gotten rid of some of this other stuff here, even the car,
the barricades.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would
but they're just that's adjusting the brightness. Fix that a lot. We still have texture there, but the texture isn't so overpowering now.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the person is much more noticeable in there now.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Karen?
No, I agree. I see your comments.
I can see the knives coming out.
See the what?
The knives.
All right, guys, moving on. The next one is this one is called Back Then. This is Lee Wins, and the score is 22.9.
Is Lee Win here?
No, she's in China.
Okay. Where's the texture?
That's what, I mean, I can't.
That's exactly the point. You know, there's, yeah.
Oops, I'm in the bed. I'm like bouncing
We
around
can
again.
see what she used for the texture, but you don't see any interaction in the image.
Basically, it just darkened the background a little bit, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's right. I do not see any texture interaction in that image.
Yeah, there's.
That's,
Yeah,
you could
you
have
can
achieved the
see
same
that-
effect with
actually,
a slider in Lightroom.
Yeah, this one to me, it's like, where's the texture on this?
There used to be a commercial out that says, "Where's the beef? Where's the beef?" I don't think there's anybody back there to serve the beef.
Yeah.
There's no texture. That's the problem.
Any comments from anybody else? No. All right.
Yeah, I like that image, what she did with it, but you're right with the.
And like I say,
Where's the texture?
it's the same thing could have been done with a single slider in Lightroom.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question about the texture.
Yeah.
If that had been lightened up considerably, would that have made a difference? Would you have been able to see it?
That was my question, Jim.
We don't know what blending mode she used or what
yeah.
technique she used, so we can't really answer that question.
I mean, try to look at this one versus that one, and you look, and there's very little difference in the spots where that texture should have been, and that's what my first question is like, where the heck's the texture?
Unless she was just using it to hide the background.
Well, like I say,
You really
I
don't
know if this
see
one will make it in the next
there,
children's
that
book.
either.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just really strange, very unusual for Lee Win to do something like that. Anyway, she can't answer for herself because she's in China. Anyway, on to the next one.
Yep.
This one is called Beach Bar, and this is Jim McWilliams' image, and the score is 24.3.
Hey, do us a favor, Lynn,
Yeah.
on this one, just bring up the actual texturized image full screen so people can appreciate what's going
There's
on.
what that looks like without it. Now I'm going to go ahead and just bring up this one. That's texturized. It looks like a painting.
Yes, that really gave it a painterly effect. That worked well. That's a very nice interaction between the two images.
Thank you. And I wanted to try masking some of this out, so I masked out basically the main portion of the bar, the stools in the bar.
Yeah, this part right here.
Yeah.
That one worked very, very well.
Lynn,
the
show the
nitpick
original.
on this one is the sliver of post on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Right here, yeah. I got rid of that or cut it off.
Actually, I think you should have left it in. They had more of it so I can see the end of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
And
more
just
on this
take out
original.
that little circle thing in the back.
Yeah.
that's a chair back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that end of the bar got chopped off, and I'm not so sure as to why.
But see, he did remove the branches that were sticking in here, and he removed this little doohickey. So he did get rid of the stuff on the edges, which that was good. He just kind of took it too far on this right-hand side.
Yeah. So.
All right. Next. This one is called Boone Plantation. This is Lee's image, and it's 23.4.
How creative of you, Lee, but it took over.
Yeah, it's too much texture.
Yeah.
It a little less opacity on that and I definitely still leave it in the sky for sure, but tone down what's in the sky, well, and all over, but even, more toning down in the sky than in the other areas. But I like the idea of using the brick with all the brickwork.
Was that the brick? Did you actually, the texture, was that brick that you took? Was that a texture picture you took of that brick there?
Yeah, I took the brick picture there. Yeah. I played
that's-
around with the opacity, but I think the lower I took the opacity, the more you just didn't even see the brick.
No.
Well, if I mess with the opacity like that and not, achieving what you achieve, all I can see is it's just another brick in the wall.
Oh, yes, Robert.
Very fun.
You were waiting for this moment.
Yeah, he was waiting.
You can't have any meat. You can't have any pudding unless you eat your meat.
All right, on to the next one. This one is Golden Beauty. This is Karen's, and the score is 23.3.
Okay,
The
Karen.
texture added some dimension and depth to this, but if we recall, I don't, were you in either of the texture blending classes that I did?
Yeah, I did one. Uh-huh.
Okay. If you remember, you can actually move the texture around while you watch it interact with the other image, and you've got a real hot spot on the lower left petals of the flower, which is from the cloud reflection part up there.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay.
And yeah, just slightly shifting that texture around would have taken that hot spot off the petals. But it did add some depth and dimensionality to the image. But my eye just goes right to those bright petals.
Robert?
To learn to talk more like Jim, because she doesn't seem like she want to cut his throat. when he gives a talk, it's like, oh, okay, I see it now.
Well, no, I didn't see that hotspot.
Right.
Well, and what? Yeah, I have a question for you, Karen. Why did you turn the picture upside down?
Because I felt like it looked more like a stem the way it is
in
the final image.
Yeah.
To me, when I looked at the original, it looked like the stem was going up in the air.
Yeah, that's true. Right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, either that or you could have just removed that.
I agree with what she did with that, with flipping it over. It looks very natural to me that way.
Yeah, but I think I would have gotten rid of these things up here because they're sort of distracting me. This stuff all up here, which was the actual, the leaves that, in the normal position would have been okay, but they're like, what is this doing up here like that?
Okay.
So. Yeah, just moving that texture around would have helped get rid of this big old white spot right here. So, all right, moving on to the next one. This one is called Chihuly Flower. This is Jim McWilliams, and the score is 24.2. Big difference between this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that texture worked great with that image.
Yep.
That is a night and day difference, and and what you lost is the distracting stuff from the original, but you kept the good stuff, and it's interacted entirely through the image, background and subject, and worked well with the complete interaction.
That texture is in the Hilton Hotel downtown. It's in front of the desk clerk's podium. They have a lighted panel, and that's what that is.
Well, and that just goes to show you that you can find textures or cool things anywhere, and be on the lookout for them and use your phone, because you can. Did you use your phone or your camera with that, Jim?
On this one, I think I used my camera.
Yeah. I was getting teased over there. I was taking pictures of the wall in the bathroom at Disney World with my phone because it's got really cool. And it's funny how many bathrooms do have really interesting textures in them, and they won't look at you so bad if you got your camera out in the bathroom. People get a little weirded out. Not so much with your phone.
Yeah, don't do it in Polk County. Grady Judd will.
Yeah.
I think it's great that this assignment has opened up people's eyes to seeing things out there that you normally wouldn't photograph, but you're now looking at it. Oh, textures, backgrounds, building my library, and opening your eyes up to more things while you're out there.
Yeah, I was one of those people that was, watching Lynn while she was making the pictures in the bathroom,
No,
trying
you
to figure
weren't.
out.
You were not in the bathroom with me, so just stop. All
Well,
right,
it's
next one.
interesting to, I'm sorry. It was just interesting to see that the marble texture kind of shows on the
Yeah.
picture as well. It's like you can
Right.
tell that it's like marble. I thought
Yeah.
that was really cool.
It was just an illuminated plastic panel.
But it had a marble effect in it. Like
Yeah, it looks like marble, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We can next time we visit hotels, we can go downtown Tampa.
Okay.
All right.
The next one is Lost in Thought. This is Richard's image, and the score is 24.3.
Nice.
I really like this one, except I think his whites of his eyes are just a little too bright. It looks a little devilish to me.
I do keep getting drawn to the gentleman's left eyeball, but
yeah.
Beyond that,
Yeah, other than that, it's great.
the texturization is nice. It really makes it look like this is on an old sheet of rusty metal.
Yeah.
It almost looks like like an old poster that's been glued on a sheet of rusty metal and then faded away.
Mm-hmm.
So is this Richard's image?
Yeah, Richard's. Yeah.
Yes.
Richard, did you tell this guy that you were going to texturize him?
I didn't tell him because I didn't know when I was speaking with him. I photographed him many times. He sells peaches at the farmers market in Blairsville in Georgia, and I photographed him a number of times. He always wears a different hat. Yeah. No, I didn't tell him I'd texturize him.
You know what I would do, Richard? I would fix his eyes and make a print of this and give it to him. But he'd love it.
Yeah, but if you look at the original of his, I lightened him up a little bit, the eyes, maybe a little too much, but those are his real eyes. That's the way.
His real eyes look like they're kind of bloodshot.
Right. And they always are. So I think this is Saturday. I think he spends Friday night imbibing.
Having some peach wine.
Does he make peach moonshine in his backyard still?
Moonshine.
Yeah. I thought it would be best to take the red out of his eyes I turned him into a black and white first before I did the texture. So.
Really cool. All right, next one is this one. This one is called a kestrel eating grasshopper. This is Kathy's. The score is 22.4.
Kathy.
Yes.
We've done basically a sky replacement here.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a sky replacement. That's my words exactly, Robert.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to do this in Capture One. So I'm kind of doing layers and masking and
It's
lunar.
the wrong tool for the job.
Yeah, I know.
Well, actually, I think it's the wrong texture for the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's the wrong texture for this job. It's not the fact that you did it in Capture One, and Capture One has layers in that. It's just that you picked a texture that mimicked the sky rather than a texture for the sky.
Yeah. I get these birds, these kestrels, and they're all up against the sky, and it's generally the dark blue. So I'm trying to add some lightness to the sky. I think I overdid it with that one, no.
Yeah, if you'd use something that this is like a composite shot, not really a texture.
It simply looks like a sky replacement composite.
Yeah, it's really not though, but yeah, it looks that way. I understand.
All right, next one is these three, I think. Yes. This one is called On the Move. This is Lee's image, and the score is 22.9. Actually, yeah, that's right. What am I doing here? Yes, I'm reading the right thing.
You added some light in your texture with your choice of texture when it's a soft, smooth, lighted texture? Why not a gritty, hard texture with this sort of thing?
Wait, were you asking me a question?
Yes.
What was it?
That's a soft, light panel that you have in your texture. And for this type of photograph, a car on the move, I would expect something that's a little more gritty, a little more hard.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement with Robert. Yeah, the texture, we see the interaction of the texture. In this case, it gave it a soft, foggy, hazy look, which I think, doesn't work well with this, hard, edgy, sharp, contrasty image to start with.
Yeah.
So I'm listening, Lee.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you. I had a hard time with it.
You should talk to Lourdes.
I was trying to do some light leaks, but it didn't work.
You should talk to Lourdes more about your subject matter.
I know. Apparently, I need a new teacher.
I've already told them they need to separate.
All right. No more marriage counseling here or couples counseling. Okay, this one has got 5 images here, so I got to kind of put them together like this.
Lynn, how are you doing that where you display 3 or 5 images at a time?
Tap the
See
letter
this little
N.
doohickey right here?
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Thank you.
Tap the letter N.
Yeah, N.
As in
Okay,
Nancy.
this one's called Lily, and of course this is Sylvia's, and it is 24.4 is the score. So she really got industrious. She used 3 textures, guys.
That's really nice. That's really nice.
And it came out fantastic. Yeah, let's see that. Or let's see the texturized image full screen and appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Very nice.
How long did it take you to do that, Sylvia?
It really doesn't take all that long. I just played with blending modes and turn some of the textures and mask a little bit off the flower. But I really like to shoot more fine art or shoot flowers and make them more fine art flowers. I have a real interest in that. So this one I thought turned out. I like it.
That's beautiful.
That's something you should print for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. She's being real modest about how long it took. It took 4 days.
No, it
Now, did you use a percentage of the opacity so to make the flower itself kind of hazy and dreamy?
With a texture over I shot the flower on a white background, obviously, and then the texture over the flower causes that look to make it softer, a little softer.
Right.
And then you take some of it off, but you don't want to take all of it off. When I mask textures off a flower, I put the flow down probably 25%, 30, depending on the image.
Right,
Don't
because
take all of the texture.
yeah, because when you do 100% mask, it ends up looking like a composite, and your eye, the viewer's eye, sees the contrast of texture versus not texture in the image versus letting it interact throughout. That's what we're talking about in some of these images, about just take down the opacity of the texture in certain areas, and that's what you've actually done here and done it well. It's a great example.
This was Sylvia's assignment.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Jim. What if you like the texture better than the image and you want to allow the texture to take over the image because you like it better?
Yeah, if you're making stuff for yourself and that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. However, that's not what this assignment was.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Just let me just go back and address that. doing advertising work and editorial work, you're given an assignment from the desk. And an assignment generally meets some sort of criteria. I want, you photograph clowns, but I want them spinning on their head. And you come back with all these clowns just standing up smiling. Your image won't get published. There may be beautiful images of someone standing there looking really good, but the editor calls for the clown to be standing on his head. So you could do whatever you want in all of these assignments. However, if you don't meet the criteria of the assignment, that's where the ding comes in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Nona?
Well, if you're overlaying textures and you're doing it exactly like the assignment, but it becomes something different, then, it's kind of like you can make it what you want it to be.
You can. And if you can show me an example of what you're referring to, then I can more definitively answer what you're asking.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
When we get to my image, you'll see exactly what
Okay. All right. I understand.
Okay. Okay.
I understand.
All right. Let's move on to the next one here. This one is called Incoming Storm. This is also Sylvia's, and the score is 24.6. As much as I like the lily, I like this one even better.
Well, I knew I didn't want to do all flowers, so
Yeah.
find something different.
Yeah, this took a very plain and yucky picture taken in New Mexico at the Ghost Ranch, right?
Yep.
Yes, it was.
And made it into something very special.
I'm glad that was on your card that didn't get formatted.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not able to travel much anymore, so I was wistfully looking back at some of my travel
Yeah, let's
yeah.
see the assigned image big, Lynn.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That worked really well.
This was really your assignment, Sylvia.
I like your I like your addition on the left-hand side as well.
Lightning.
Well, I debated that. And I thought, oh, I'm going to put that there, and they're going to ding me and tell me, oh, but it's a brush, and I never used them, and I wanted to make it really subtle, but I was afraid.
Yes, it's not. Yeah, you did a good job with the idea of making it subtle. If that had just been bright and jumping out of there and not like buried behind, the texture that gives the impression of clouds, then it would have just been the thing that your eye goes to. Yeah. In this case, it's subtle enough that I see the entire scene first and then catch that out of the corner of my eye. And it's a nice touch.
Yeah, obviously the tree is the prominent subject because it's that bright orange red color. Right. So, Robert, comments?
I've already commented on this.
Okay.
Which is what was that Diana said? This one's yours.
Yeah.
This assignment's yours.
Yep. Yeah. Sylvia, you need to print this one too.
Yeah.
This one would look good on matte paper or a matte piece of metal matte.
Yeah, on a that silvery paper would be fabulous.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Beautiful.
And I just wanted to see. So where did you get the lightning strike from?
It's a brush.
A brush?
Yeah,
okay.
You can download them. There
make sure,
some free lightning brushes, and they've all kinds of lightning shapes,
Awesome. All right, on to the next batch.
Sylvia, where did you get it from?
I'll have to go back and look.
Can you text it to me?
I'll look it up and let you know. Yeah.
Thanks.
I can't remember where I got them. Actually, I took a little webinar thing with this woman, Hazel Meredith, that does a lot of this, takes old barns and things, and she uses textures, and she used lightning brushes, and she actually gave us the site. So I'll have to go back and look it up because I downloaded the brushes into my Photoshop. So I'll have to go back and see where I got them.
All right, moving on. Whoops. That wasn't what I wanted to do.
You can just control click them on your strip there. There you go, Lynn. That'll work.
Okay, the next batch this is called Hot Springs. This is Kathy's, and its score is 23.1.
So you used a different area at the same geographic location as your texture to put together with this, and I see it put a lot more like grit and grunge into the foreground area there.
Yeah. To see what this original, yeah.
It gave the foreground more visual interest, certainly than the original. The original's kind of a bland foreground. It has a lot more visual interest to it now with the texture working in it.
Looks more more three-dimensional to me too.
Yeah. Yep. More depth and dimension was added by that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look too unrealistic either at a glance until you look closely at this image. If you look at it smaller or from a distance, it almost looks natural.
Yeah. Robert?
Well, I think I would want to have a little more contrast in the image between the water or the bright areas and the dark areas to give it just a tad more
Right
depth.
here? Yeah, just hit it with a brush.
Just dodge that.
Yeah, dodge it a little bit. Or take the brush and lighten part of it, and then this part darken it a little bit.
Yeah, darken it around it so I can have a little more definition.
Yep.
Of the actual image.
That would make it pop.
I absolutely agree with that.
Whose image is this?
This is Kathy's.
Kathy, okay, great.
All right, something happened here. Oh, this is where the stacking got screwed up.
That looks like an end of the world picture to me.
I'm missing the texture that goes with this one.
You've got a stack again.
Oh, I got it stacked. I need to expand the stack. No, it's still not. It's not.
Well, you have two selected. Try selecting only the one with the stack.
Oh, okay, that would help.
Huh?
Well,
well,
I don't know what happened to the texture with this one.
这是打平了呀，自己烤一烤就行。
The one to the right, right there, click on that one and then expand that.
Look, it's this
Now
one.
you change. Go back.
No, it says 2 of 6. I'm not sure why it's. That is weird. Yeah, I don't know what's happened to the texture. Anyway, this one is called Abandoned. This is Lee Wins, and the score is 23.8. Actually, here's the texture right here. This is the one. There we go. Jim, Robert, anybody?
Yep.
This
oh yeah, the effect on the effect on this one.
这两块吧，说的时间长了省得坏了。
Do you want to mute Fong?
Fong, you need to mute.
Oh.
Okay. I think she was having fun playing with blending modes here.
Oh yeah, and this and this
difference. I think it looks like difference.
Yeah, and this came out looking like some kind of art poster.
Yeah.
For something. Somebody even said something like for a movie or something. Yep, like.
Or it looks like the car got left on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a little different.
Yeah, the final image has a good visual impact. It definitely gets your attention. There's There's not a lot of interaction with the car. There's some very subtle interaction. You have to look close to find, you can see a little bit of that texture, bleeding through the car there. I think it could have stood up to a little more of a texture interacting through the car. I would have liked to seen a little more. It's barely there in some places.
Robert?
This is one where I'm not particularly fond of the red being so strong coming through for me. I just think it's one of those reverse what do you call it when you make the something red and then the rest of the image is black and white?
Yeah.
And this is more where I think the red is overpowering. And I'm with Jim on this about a little more interaction with that texture itself with the vehicle.
Yeah.
Pulling it together.
Solarizing?
No, not solarizing.
Yeah, this is I think this is a blend mode of difference. And it gives you kind of wacky, really strange looking colors. So
yeah, but the colors can still be toned down. But go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and this is where things get subjective. I'm on the other end of the spectrum from Robert with the red. I think the red is what really got my attention with this image and really got my eye and drew me into it, and really gives it that it gives me a feel of this has been done with some kind of chemical or acid, or it's something toxic. And that toxic feel of that red with that car, like acid or something. It's just the general impression that I get from it that worked for me.
Now, just remember now, Jim, at 15, he experimented with those acid stuff. And at 15.
I don't mean that kind of acid. I mean like chemical acid.
Hey, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah. That car, when I was a little kid, of course, all the cars looked like that, except they didn't have dents in them yet. But because of those bumpers, a lot of times when you be in an intersection and the two oncoming cars are making left turns, they would somehow get those bumpers caught on one another. And then the people would stand, they wouldn't back up and fix it. They just kept pulling each other until the whole front of the car almost was smashed. And then usually some guy would go out and try to referee the whole deal and get one of them to back up to let the other one go or whatever. But there were never any police calls. It's just you stood there and your car took whatever beating was coming to it. And it was always great entertainment on a Saturday for me to watch that.
Chris, you're not that old, my God.
You're better now. And therein lies the formation of Geico and Progressive and the whole state and all the others.
Hey, Robert, was selective color the term you were looking for, Robert?
Selective color, yes.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
Okay, the next one is...
Okay, wait. Before you start commenting, I totally did not understand.
Wait. You don't get the comment just yet.
Wait a minute. Let me get out what I have to say. This is called Handsome Dude. This is Diana's, and the score is 22.3. All right. Okay, now that's the... There's not a whole lot of difference between these two.
Now it's time for Robert to recite the Wendy's ad again.
Well, yeah, where's the texture?
Where's the meat? You can see a little bit of it right here, but that's it.
So here was the thing. I was trying to make it look like a canvas, but I obviously failed. So both of my shots are going to be 22s because I was trying to I didn't want to mess with the bird too much because I liked him. And I didn't understand that. I knew how to do it, and because I watched the videos, but I chose the wrong texture. I should have used something that had more texture to it. Anyway, oh well. That's all I got to say.
We're learning.
It's a dessert, I mean, he's a cute guy, but I didn't meet the assignment.
Well, Diana, I just want to say this to you and to everyone else. don't come out defending something.
No, I mean, it wasn't defending.
No, hang tight. Don't come out defending something because what you have is a beautiful shot.
Right.
And it was stated when it first hit the screen. Ah, however, in the judging of it, it didn't take away from the beauty of the shot. It just said that there was not enough texture.
Yeah.
So allow that comment to come through.
So I do have a question. If I had allowed more of that texture to be in the background, like not lightened,
it's too subtle. That texture is too subtle.
it's too subtle.
It's
Okay.
too subtle.
Yeah, because your background is subtle too, but it's a different kind of subtle. It's very there's a lot of bokeh there, and so you're putting bokeh on top of bokeh, so it's kind of hard. Yeah.
But a beautiful shot, though.
Yeah, this is awesome shot of a puff.
Yeah, it's a beautiful image.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
Yeah, Diana, I think almost that it was a matter of the image is so beautiful on its own, and you have a nice background. I'm not sure it was the
it was not a good shot.
Texture on.
Yeah.
It doesn't really add anything to it. It was
I
already
agree.
so good on its own.
What's that saying? Don't mess with perfection.
Yeah,
and I agree, especially after having seen, Sylvia, some of the other shows. It's definitely you're spot on that.
That's why we have more than one picture each week or each month, because it's all about seeing how everybody else sees and does things, and we all learn from all that. So that's awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're got a few more to go here, and then we have some generals to go through too. All right, this one is called Amelia Bridge with Fun Sky. This is Brian's, and the score is 23.8. 23.8. So this, I assume, looks like water.
Mm-hmm. And
then okay.
I really enjoy that feeling of the cosmos being back there in the sky in this from that texture. It's it's very abstract in in a vaguely distant Van Gogh kind of way, and that worked in the sky for me. It's almost like I say, to me, it's a modern take on kind of a Van Gogh sky, and I enjoyed that.
Actually, the texture was a reflection of trees in the water during our trip to where was the trip where we had?
That was when we were on the Chassahowitzka.
Yeah. That's from the.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so the only thing that bothered me was these kind of really big.
There's a couple of hot spots. Yeah.
I would have cloned those out, Brian, just to get rid of them, because these, instead of me looking over here, I'm like, my eye is drawn to these bright spots right here. So
I think there are some bright spots under the bridge, and also immediately after Jim's potluck, the texture did exist on the water below the bridge, but I created a mask and got rid of it. So I don't know if that was a good choice or not.
yeah, I think so, because this is like it's like a texture just on the sky, which, like he said, it's kind of giving you a galactic feeling.
And it didn't replace the sky.
Right.
It interacted with. We still see the stars in the background and everything. It's an enhancement that was the even I think in the text of the assignment it even said use it to enhance your image. This was an enhancement, and I artistically I like where you went with this.
Robert, what's your take?
Well, Brian, you and I are friends. We probably won't be after this comment. Go to the texture for me, please. This is a case where I think that we have too much color. In this, go to the develop module. And the first thing I want you to do is desaturate about 50%. Maybe about 50%. Now I want you to add take out now add some blue to this.
Blue?
Yeah, add some blue.
Yeah, blue.
Okay, and subtract some, add some magenta, a little bit of magenta. Okay, now if you lay this over on top of that same deal, I wouldn't be so confused by that that green coming in from somewhere, and the rest of the blue
right here.
would actually work with it.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah.
You mean we're still friends?
If you look at these two together. Oops, wrong one. Oops. Okay, how do I get out of here, guys?
Click on the one, 2 doors to the left, or where you just picked the two Ys. Go 2 doors to the left.
No, it keeps giving me
Up
this.
where you see the Y and the Y.
Yeah, click that.
Go over to the left. One more.
Oh, this one. Oh,
all right. Start from there.
Okay,
Yeah.
start over again. Okay, so what I was trying to say is you take this one and this one, and their colors are more similar. Where the old way, it just really made it. Well, in a way, you could say it looks sort of like the Aurora Borealis because it's green.
Yep. Yeah, it didn't bother me, but I look at a lot of astrophotography and do some astrophotography, and green is actually a very common color in a lot of astrophotography things in sky images and stuff.
So yeah, it's again all very subjective, which all of this is. All right, next one is St. Pete Boardwalk. This is also Brian's. The score is 23.7. Why am I not getting my... Oh, it's because I'm in the develop module. That's what all that was.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So it's an interesting use of the sky on a really non-sky image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is another case where the texture again added a lot of depth and dimension to the subject.
Definitely warmed it up.
It changed the whole look to like warm sunshine on those deck boards versus the original. Looking, the original looks very kind of cold and uninviting. And the new one is so much different in the emotional feel of the image from that.
I think I would have taken the texture off of here.
Mm-hmm.
That pulls my eye right here. This one's a little bit that way, but not as bad as this spot right here. But other than that, I like the way it turned out.
Yep.
Robert?
What you had done a little bit more with the sky.
Well, I actually looked at the sky, and I mean, I don't know. The original didn't have any sky, and so I didn't know what to do with the sky. I knew that it was a weak point in the image, but I didn't know how to fix it.
And I'll tell you how to fix it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a crop on
that. I was gonna say, is Robert going the same way I'm going? And he is. He's going exactly where I'm going.
Pull it down?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or just get rid of it?
Make a pano out of this thing.
Yes.
How far?
You can come this one.
Bring it down a little more.
Where?
Yeah, right there. And then you can bring it up a little from the bottom. Make a pano. There we go. Yeah, right there. Yeah, don't cut into that little puddle on the left. There we go.
You got the two. Go give me a.
Now copy that crop to the other one.
Yeah, we'll just do this. Basically the same.
Yeah, you bring it down on top, like just above the fence.
No, that's right. Right to that.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
What you get here is you get that line in the back that brings you back to the line on the left-hand side, which brings you back to the lines that lead you to the line in the back.
All these lines, see these guys? All these lines are going this way, and then you've got the fence that's coming back this way.
Right.
Great. That is
Have
great.
letter F for me to get me full screen on that.
So this was my conventional texture, and the bridge was my a little bit wacky texture. And then there was another image I wanted to submit just to see, but I figured it was a much better chance that you wouldn't like it, so I chose it too. But I would have liked to, if I had a third image, I would have liked to have found out what you thought of my much more wacky entry.
Well, you can always put it in general next month.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, yeah, I like this. Yeah, there's it's just too much white on the original. So. All right, let me reset that and reset this one. And the next one is these three. This one's called Honeybee. This is Jack's, and the score is 22.8. To the library. And do this one.
Yeah, the center one is the
yeah
assigned image.
Got messed up. This order got messed up. Let me just move this one over here. Oops, it won't let me. Yep. I'm just not having a good night tonight. Everything's being weird.
Go to the grid.
Yeah, I know.
It's easier to do it on the grid.
I'm just poking around. There you go. So this is, yeah, this is the original. So I got out of order. I got the next one's like that too. Yeah, this one's a little too like.
It's a frame effect.
Yeah.
It's basically it's a frame overlay in this instance. It's not so much about how the texture interacts with the image. Yeah. It's been turned into a frame overlay.
Yeah, Jack, you see what we're saying?
Yes, I do hear what you're saying. I erased the image, I'm sorry, the texture from the middle so as to keep the bee and the center of the flower sharp. And you're saying that gives it a framing effect?
Right. Yeah.
Yes. By doing so, you created a frame.
Yeah, eliminated you were eliminating it at full opacity, and you probably should have eliminated it like just a partial, and then left some of it on here where all these dark spots are. Yeah.
And that texture looks like it would have, and where I can see that it interacted with the very edges of the flower where it wasn't masked out, it looks like it interacts beautifully with that flower.
You just got rid of too much of it. That's all.
Yeah, I would have left it through 90% of the flower, at least. Yeah, because I can see that texture works great with those flower petals.
Right. You could get rid of 100% right here, but then as you move as you go out, reduce the amount of eliminate less and less. In other words.
Okay.
Reduce the So reduce the opacity on your eliminating brush.
Yep.
All right. What I'm about to say is going to be a little bit harsh. Bring me full screen with the final image. All right, Jack.
Yeah.
You and me talking.
Yeah.
And we're in there, and I'm looking at this, and you're looking at this, and you see those dark areas.
The dark areas around the petals?
Yeah, where the green is.
Yeah.
And you would tell me if I had left that dark area, you would say, Robert, something's wrong here. Now that you're saying it full screen and you heard the comments.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. And you know what? Because of, I guess, my lack of sophistication, should we say, I don't grasp it. I don't appreciate it as much, but I hear what you're saying, and maybe I need to study this a little bit more.
Or maybe you need to spend about 30 minutes with me, and then we'll go over it.
Okay.
Okay. Can I come along?
Either that or hang out with Sylvia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, very good. I appreciate the comments. Thank you.
Jack, you and I can go to Robert's class.
Again, I got these in the wrong order. Oh, this one goes here. There we go. And this one is called Orchids, and this is also Jack's, and the score is 23.6. You did a much better job on this one.
Yeah,
In
and I
terms
don't.
of combining them, yeah.
I just don't understand why you miss the difference, because this is night and day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Somehow the other one you got lost. This one you were right smack on. Whoops! Again, it's doing the wrong one. Come on, this one. So yeah, I mean, this one, the edges are much more softer and it looks realistic, where the other one just looked kind of like weird. So you see the difference between this one and that one?
Oh yeah, it's a different. It's a definitely. I did them both differently. I didn't mean to make them both the same. I purposely made them different. Two variations. A Chevrolet and a Ford. But
the other one was more like a wrecked Carmen Ghia.
Yeah.
Remember, they both have a steering wheel, a gas pedal, and a brake, and a key to turn them on. So they both require the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, so you actually do know how to do. I mean, the edges are a little stark on the stems, but the flowers actually, and it might have somewhat to do the color of the flowers versus the other one as well. So there's a difference in the contrast. I mean, because it could, some of these could have been like these are pretty soft around here. I mean, if you look at it, there are some edges that are a little, but because of the color of the flower and the color of the texture, it worked better on this one. So, I mean, considering that you started off with a background that's black, I mean, wow.
That was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll try white the next time.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
If you have 10 seconds, you could let me share my screen. I'll just show you something that relates to the prior image.
Okay. Oh, let me unshare here. Okay. Everybody sticking with us?
Yeah.
We only have a few more images to do. We've got a couple more here, and then we've got 5 generals, so we don't have a whole lot more to do.
Hey, Jack, just to do a test, I just threw that texture and the flower together and did it, and did no masking. This is 100% interaction of the texture with the thing. What do you think? It's the same texture, same image, no mask at all.
Yeah. I see the difference. I appreciate now the difference. Yeah.
There was no masking even required on that. It was
Robert, we don't need to get together now.
Just for a beer.
Let me move my it was soft light blend mode at 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, if you see that.
Yeah.
Yep, soft light blend 100%. No masking even required. Okay, I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
Thank you. That cemented it.
For the brain surgeon, it was hard to get through to you, man.
Well, the skull's never been penetrated.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one, guys. We got to get through this. It's getting late. Next one is called Purple Whimsy. This is Susan's, and the score is 22.8.
Where did those lines come from?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, if you guys notice, I don't know if you saw this, Lynn. I'm sure Robert probably did. The flowers that are used in the texture aren't even the same flowers being shown as the original. That's not even the same. That's not even the same picture.
Not the same picture. Susan.
I looked at it 40 times and I went, wait a minute.
Susan, what did you do here? Did you send me the wrong image?
Well, I thought it was the same picture. I don't. I had lots of pictures. The back. And those lines in the back, they're the shadows.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I was wondering where they came from because
Well-
I didn't see them in the
Well, it's
picture
because it's the other-
original,
it's
and
a
I
different
didn't.
Yeah, because it's a different picture.
Probably grabbed it up by mistake about that. Well, I needed you on your toes. Did you notice?
I was on my toenails.
Like what?
Okay.
Well, let's forget about this one and just see how it looks. I mean, yeah, you got it, the idea here, but it's just not the right image for this sort of thing.
Yeah, the interaction between the two simply ends up being a color tint.
You need to go hang out with your sister.
I know. They're too far apart.
Oh God, come on. There's that thing called Zoom. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you had just used like a portion of this, just like this piece here of this particular image, and used just that, I mean, and then gotten rid of all these other things sticking out. You know, and you want to use an image that doesn't have a lot of shadows in it anyway, because that just distracts from everything. So
yeah, and the other thing to remember is when you have a background that itself has no texture, it's very plain white, or it's very plain black, and then you use a subtle texture with it, a subtle texture just isn't going to appear,
right,
on a background that itself has no texture.
Yeah.
Textures actually blend better with something else that's texture, if that makes sense. They typically, a subtle texture like this won't interact with a plain untextured background. You need a pretty intense graphic texture to come through on a background like that.
Okay.
Black or white.
that's why Sylvia uses like 3 or 4 of them on a white background.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the next batch. This one is called Ruby Red. This is also Susan's, and the score is 22.8. This one worked a little better.
In this case, you can see it's a stronger texture, so more of it is appearing in the background. In this case, the flower got too dark. We need to pop the reds, Lynn.
Yeah.
You go to the color mixer and hit the luminosity slider on the reds and oranges. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah.
Much better.
Big help.
Yeah. And I think I would have. What do you think about that stem coming out of the top? That sort of bugs me.
I think you don't like stems coming from the top.
Yeah, I have a thing about stems at the top. I don't know why, but I just do. I mean, I don't know if
You can if you go to the grid, Lynn.
Just.
You can, if you select just that image, you can do a rotation on it on the grid, or there. Yeah, that works too. Yep.
No, that doesn't work either.
Oh, that looks really weird.
The side from the side
well, it's because of it's part of the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, I guess the longer I look at it, the better it looks like. Especially after flipping it, it looks better this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it when the stem was coming from the left.
Lynn, would you not open up the shadows inside the flower?
You could open up the shadows a little bit, I guess. I mean, yeah,
oh yeah, definitely. There you go.
Just a little bit. Yeah, that brightens up the red a little bit too.
Much better.
Yeah, it was just the texture just made it way too dark. Yeah. All right, we got 3 more to go here, I think. I can just get out of library. I gotta get in the library again. Doesn't like to do that other stuff when I'm. Okay, got them out of order again. This one goes over here. And
you can't do it with all 3 selected. It makes a stack.
I have to. I have to unstack it. It's late at night and I'm tired.
But I'm saying that don't project that on the rest of us.
Okay.
'Cause this is actually a pretty good lesson here.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm a bird person, so I like birds anyway. The first thing I would have done, Tori, is, this is Tori's, by the way, and it's called Scowling Owl, and the score is 23.1. The bird is kind of green. I know he's in green leaves, but I would have tried to get that a little less green on the bird. And
Okay.
that was the number one thing. And then, because you just made it greener with this green texture. So go ahead,
Right.
guys. What else do you want to say about this?
I really enjoy what the texture did with the background. The image itself, I would have definit's fixed the leaf and the stem.
Great.
Yes.
Got rid of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those. Yes.
She's having a little problem with this, and we'll get her to it eventually.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Well,
you
I
can
think-
go ahead. You can go ahead and remove the stuff that's in the way. Just because it's there doesn't mean you need to leave it there. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I think that
You're
I've
making
always-
art. You're not doing documentary photography in this assignment.
Yeah.
I've kind of like when you shoot through something that you kind of get something like it's like a foreground and then your subject and then the background. So I think
But
I
this
guess
is
I don't
distracting.
see
Yeah,
it the way
this
you
is,
do.
if it was like a bunch of green leaves that were closer to you than to the owl, it would be like a blur.
Yeah.
But this is so
sure.
in focus, and
Yeah.
this one is almost in focus that is distracting.
Right.
So you
Okay.
get it. You get this, but the fact that what was cool about the texture is it filled in all these white spots,
Right.
which made it this picture much more pleasant to look at. So we're looking at
I think I masked the whole owl, but maybe I didn't because I see that it's green at the edges now.
Yeah,
So yeah.
but you did like cut him off sharply, which that would have looked weird. Which that
Yeah,
was,
true. So because the texture was green, it made the owl green too.
Yeah, it made him look green. So
Okay, I can see
You
that.
can always reduce the saturation on the texture
right
itself.
Right.
Yeah.
The texture itself can still come through, and even like where it was over the owl, you didn't even necessarily need. You could have lowered the opacity of it, and as Robert said, lowered the saturation of it, but still let it interact so that you have a cohesive feel across the image.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I see what Lynn is saying about the white spots in the original image, but my opinion is that if you went and cloned those in to fill in those white spots, I would prefer the original image to the textured image.
Well, no one suggested you clone them in, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, he's suggesting it.
He's suggesting you clone him in, but it's with something like this. Believe me, I've tried it, and it's not that easy to get the decent looking clones. It almost I would in a situation like this, I'd almost rather use the texture because it really looks strange if you try to clone all that.
And another thing to remember, you don't have to do a very realistic looking job with the cloning either if you're going to put the texture on it, because the texture acts as camouflage for that anyway. So by putting the texture on, it means you don't have to be as realistic with that work if you're going to do that.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next one. This one is called Tree Grows in Kenya. This is Diana's, and the score is 23.2.
Hey, Lan.
Yeah.
The texture is my image, which is the next image you're showing, and the image that you have for the texture, I think, is the image. So you've got to switch those two textures.
Oh, okay. That one belongs with this one?
Yeah, that's not
That is
mine.
weird. I wonder how it did that. Oops.
And that goes at the end of it.
This goes with this one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's weird. Okay. I don't know how it got all mixed up like that, but it did. All right. Let's do these two next. 3. This one is called, The Tree Grows in Kenya, and this is Diana's, and the score is 20, lost track here, 23.2.
Same mistake.
Let's look at the texturized one full screen. There is some interaction there.
Yeah,
It's
it's in the
subtle,
clouds.
but out in the grass too.
Yeah, the
In the grass. This one, it's visible. Unlike your other one, it's a stronger texture. It's there. It's subtle, but it does add an enhancement. It could be a little stronger, definitely, but in this one versus your other one, we can see it. It is there, and we can see where it's starting to have some enhancement.
Here, yeah.
Yep.
And in here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously this is much lighter than this original, but yeah, there's definitely a lot more interaction between this one than the birds.
That one's coming along. That one's getting more to what it's about, the idea of what it's about.
So sticking with the same, I mean, is it my not choosing the right my not choosing the right picture to put a texture on or not?
Oh no, this is a fantastic image to texturize. And you could have taken that texture and stacked it twice.
Yeah.
To make it, to get more intensity out of the texture. You could have
I don't know how you do that.
just duplicate it as another layer.
Another layer. Yeah, just make another layer.
Duplicate it on top of itself and do like a multiply blend when you duplicate the layer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lynn, you need to go to the image before that you're on now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It got, when I was messing around with it, it went, yeah, okay. Okay, so this is the next one. This one is called Frosty Branch. This is Nona's, and the score is 24.2.
How are those together?
Oh, go ahead and show us the texturized one large. You got to look at it full screen, and then you're going to see it.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Oh, that was fantastic. That one worked really well, actually. That really enhanced the effect.
It was also
I sure didn't see that at first. My apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies.
I wanted to do something outside the box. So I took this image that I took at the Denver Botanic Gardens, which is the texture. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to see what I can do with the tree branches in this image.
I want you to look at it, okay? So you can see it, okay?
Yeah. So I went through the blending modes like Jim showed us, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got snow. But the snow was all colored. So what I did was I desaturated the snow to make it look like snow. And then I cloned out the images that looked like they had a lot of lights in it. And I said, oh, it's snowing.
Hey, let me just say this. You said about out the box. I would have never seen that.
Neither would I.
So
it happened.
No. I wouldn't even have used that one as a texture. So kudos to you for that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. That the final image that was produced is just gorgeous to look at.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
thank
like looks like a Christmas card.
You want to buy a print from me, Jim?
Yeah. Yeah, that should be printed.
Yeah, that could be sold for stock.
Anyway, and just to let you know that I had one texture on top of it, but I liked the snow and I felt like it needed more snow. So I added like 3 more textures to give it even more snow.
Yeah.
Yep. You can double up, triple up. Yeah. Going back to Wendy's here, you can do a double stack or a triple stack.
Yeah, I tripled it.
Are you guys hungry? All you're talking about is food tonight.
Well, I don't think there's anybody back there.
Okay. All right. This is the last of the assign. This one is called Cactus Flower Morphs into Bird. This is Nona's, and the score is 22.1.
Oh, come on.
This is what she was talking about, guys.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about because I created a fractal and then I decided I was going to superimpose it on top of this cactus flower. And I went through the blend modes, like Jim said, And I said, oh my God, I've got a bird, and I'm a wildlife photographer. So I decided to make it all bird and not just put a little bit of texture on it, but to put all of the texture and move the texture to make the eye in the place where it was and turn it into a bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, the problem is it doesn't look, unless you're Nona, it doesn't look like a bird, I don't think. I was like,
Looks like
where's
a
the
bird.
bird? I'm like, if you stare at it long enough, you'll see like this is the beak. And there's
That's right.
the kind of little thingy sticking off his head. But it's just,
Right.
the problem is there's just so
Oh,
much
it's
going
like a
on here.
quail.
Yeah,
Right,
probably a
exactly.
snail.
Thank you, Lynn. I was
Couldn't anybody see
I
that?
was racking my brain
Yeah,
about
me
the bird
too.
thing.
Now it makes sense because I'm like,
So do you
yeah.
need to rescore me now?
Like I said, if you stare at it long enough, you'll figure out what she's talking about when she says bird. But just looking at it initially, it's like, what?
No to the rescoring.
Yeah, it's like the pattern just overtakes the whole darn thing. It's like,
But why can't you do that? I mean, if you want to do that, why can't you?
Well, you can. You did it.
Well, I've seen all these pictures that Jim Zuckerman's posted with all these bodies and put chameleons on top of it. And I said, that's so cool. I wonder how he does it. And now I know.
Right. That's Jim Zuckerman.
Yeah, Jim Zuckerman.
Correct. That's different.
Any other comments? Come on, you got Robert and Jim didn't say much.
I'm good.
Okay.
We'll have a little talk when you come visit me, Nona.
I'll submit it to a different competition, like I did with the one that won.
All right, moving on to general. We only have 5, so let's get done with this. Okay, this is the first one. This one is Who's Watching Whom? This is Deborah's, our new member, and the score is 23.7.
What?
Remember, this is general. We don't add an extra point on this one. So assign, FYI, just for Deborah's knowledge, assign, because we want people to do the assign, we add an extra point on that one. So this is a good score for general.
It's an excellent score for general.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Would you change anything?
Say again?
Is there anything you change? Anything you don't like?
Yeah, only thing I would have done, I think I would have darkened up this corner just a tad. These rocks are a little too like in my face. They're competing with this lovely water that's in front of his face, and his eyes are in focus, guys, which I checked on that right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Which that's hard to do when you got water flashing, splashing in front of them.
Yeah.
That is really hard to do.
It's hard to do when a bear's looking at you like that, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, great moment of action frozen there.
Let me since I've said we do this, I'm going to do it real quick here. Just use a quick.
What's that shutter speed, Lynn, for?
1/1600th.
There you go.
Yeah, it's.
Mhm.
I would have shot. That's a pretty good. I mean, I usually shoot any kind of wildlife at least 2,000ths of a second, but this did an okay job because it did give a little long exposure. Technically a long exposure on that splash. I would just darken that.
But that doesn't look bad.
Yeah. It's not
there's
bad.
there is no motion blur, in the animal, in the face, in the eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I think I might have even gone a little bit over here. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. Just so that it's kind of flat, and just give it the bear a little more prominence in this.
Kind of a framing effect.
Yeah, sort of framing it a little bit, because
Hey,
this
Lynn,
is actually the important part of the picture right here.
Yeah. Instead of the exposure slider, try moving just the shadows slider.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, that's better. And that just darkens up those corners a little bit and keeps your eye right here where you want it to be, which is the bear and the splashes. Because going the other, just back to the normal. What did I just do? Back from here to here. What is that?
Where
it's
was
very,
this picture taken?
yeah, it's just a very subtle difference, but it makes a difference because it keeps your eye right here on the bear. I don't know. You know what I'm thinking too? I'm like, let me look at this. Just a little bit of contrast too. We're just putting just a little bit of contrast on the bear too. That way he's not quite as the same tone as the water.
What about bringing down the highlights?
So yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just a kind of a, like I said, try to keep the eye right here on this part of the picture without having all this other stuff interfering with what you're looking at. So anything else, guys?
Good shot.
Awesome. So it's a great catch though. This one though, he's trying to catch him, but he didn't.
Wow.
This one's called Biting Off More Than You Can Chew. This is also Deborah's, and the score is 24.7.
Wow.
That's an awesome score for a general. So
that's an awesome shot.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That must be Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Zimbabwe.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Deborah goes all over the world, and she goes with crazy people, and she goes with single men in the jungles of Africa. She's got more guts than I do, man. Crazy woman.
I mean, this was really crazy. I mean, we watched this lioness from long way away just crouch down. And I looked at my guide and I said, she's not going to go after this big male giraffe. And he looked at me and went, oh, no, of course not. And then she just took off like a bullet. I mean, she's lucky she didn't get killed.
Yeah.
What was the outcome?
He just outran her.
Yeah.
So is the perfect position of the tree under the chin dumb luck, or did you plan that?
I'm sure. Yeah, she was waiting. Wait. I'm going to shoot Julie. It's right by the tree. Yeah,
actually, to be honest, I mean, a lot of the shots didn't work out because of the way the giraffe's legs kept, being over the lioness. I mean, like when the stride closed, she was all cut up by his legs.
Deborah, I have one question for you. And I mean this seriously. You said a lot of the shots didn't work out because their legs were in the wrong position. At what point did the giraffe consult with you to say that my legs should be in a certain position?
I keep trying to get them to do what I want. But
right.
They don't take direction at all.
In a previous life, she was a surgeon. She gets what she wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
You're still a surgeon, Deborah.
Yeah. Again, would you change anything? Does the color tone look okay?
No, I mean, this is very, it's somewhat flat in the back, but this is on the African savanna, and that's what you expect it to be. There's going to be haze.
Yeah.
So,
I'll say this, if I can take just a few seconds of your time. Sometimes images have so much impact, you don't see the rest.
Right.
You don't even notice
definitely just, all you see is those two animals.
And the fact that background is kind of flat and muted in tonality keeps your eye on the action.
Right.
It is a non-distracting background.
Yeah. There's a little bit of like pan going on there. So it's almost like a very minor ICM in the background, which is awesome. So, all right, moving on. This one is fly fish. This one is Fong's, and the score is 21. Fong, did you take this with your iPhone, with your cell phone?
No, this take from Sony RX10.
I looked at the exit data. It's done with a real camera. Now I found
far
this
away. iPhone cannot take.
Yeah, okay.
Far away.
Yeah.
Then I bring good lens come here. This not see anymore.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I found this fascinating though in a certain way. If I take it artistically out of the realm of being a documentary photograph and look at it artistically, this reminds me of like the old 8-bit computer graphics of the 90s and stuff like that, with all that pixelization and everything going on in there. And it almost looks like some of the art that is done in by 8-bit graphics artists.
Only you would know that, Jim.
There is a genre of art that intentionally looks like this. I don't know if it was Fong's intention to have something that looks like that genre of art, but if you put it in that context, it's actually a fascinating, good-looking image in that context. As a photograph, if you say, "Oh, this is a photograph," there's a lot of technical flaws in it.
Yeah.
But if you look at it out of the box like that, it's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Robert?
My take on it is I want you to make this into a black and white and then add a cyanotype tint to it.
Mm-hmm.
But my initial impression of this is that the subject blends into the background too much.
Thank you.
Now, down to your
You can go to the color. You can go to color grading and do it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Color grading.
Like that?
Wrong way.
Oh, cyan. I'm sorry. Thinking sepia.
Somewhere in that range right there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Do it to the shadows as well. And go to a darker blue in the shadows.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that gets rid of all those little pixels of color that are disturbing.
Now you have a flying fish.
Yeah. Yeah, that's much, much better that way. See what we did, Fong? We moved, we just eliminated what color was there, and then we just added a little color using the color grading. All right, next one is Silent Flight. This one is mine, and the score is 23.3.
不怎么样，21分。
I desperately want the rest of the wing.
Oh, you have the ring. The whole wing is there.
Yeah, but I see what Brian's talking about. The end of that wing bleeds into the background.
Yeah, it looks like the background. That's kind of.
Lynn, is this the one you took when we were at Philippi?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Great.
This is when Odie got attacked by the squirrel in the tree.
And by the
he was
time I put my
flying
camera
desperately
up,
trying to get away from the squirrel.
yeah. And by the time I put my camera up, it was gone.
But, yeah. Any comments other than the wing?
Good shot.
Great shot, great eyes.
Excellent job.
Yeah, nice. Like I say, nice capture. Great focus on the eyes and everything. Yeah, like I say, and my issue was the same thing, that wing in the right side of the frame.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't notice that.
But
part.
you can't do anything about that. That's the way it was, other than you darken the tree, but then it
Here's the thing about when you say I can't do anything about that, that's the way it was.
AI.
You move on to the next shot that is right.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Should I just take?
Sometimes sometimes
No.
sometimes you almost get the perfect shot, but you don't.
Yeah.
So you move on and hope for it the next time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Either that, I guess I could have done. Just
texture.
Get rid of the wings altogether.
You can put a texture on it, Lynn.
No.
I'm just like, whatever. All right. Last but not least, we have Night of Tampa. This is Fong's, and the score is 20.
It's not in focus.
Yeah, Fong, I don't know what you were doing here.
Fong, you totally missed the mark on this one.
Nothing's in focus.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the top of the cylinder building is just way too tight.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's too bright here. Yeah, this. I think she had a few too many drinks over at Armature Works. Either that or her lens was had condensation on it.
Condensation on the lens
Yeah.
fogged over. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of looks almost like condensation. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, that is it, guys.
Lynn, I have a question.
Yeah.
I had another texture photograph that never appeared.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I went back and forth a bunch of times. I wonder if it didn't come through.
Mine were both on this. They were all on the same email. One email.
Well, I apologize for that. Because I thought I got all of them.
We can make it up in the next one.
Yeah, we can make it up next month.
Yeah, I'll put it in general next time.
Well, either that or we can just score it as and add it in as assigned for this week, for this month. That's not a problem. We used to do that all the time. Yeah. So
Julia, unmic yourself. What did you think?
That was fun. I really enjoyed seeing all your guys' photographs and just hearing the comments was really interesting. So thanks for letting me join in.
this was this was a little more difficult because of the complication of adding 2 extra images each time. Normally it's just one image for the assign and we can go through them pretty quickly. But yeah, having those 2 extra images kind of complicated the issue, especially on my end of things. But Andy, what did you think?
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been insightful, let me say that much.
Yeah. We do this, we do this month after month. And like I said, it's all about the education. This is, just part of it. And then obviously our education night is the rest of it. And then our outings just add on to it and we can practice kind of what we preach around here. So.
And Lynn, I just did go back and looked through the email, and yes, there's 6 images attached to Richard Edwards' email. Yeah, there are 3 more in his email, so you can post them in.
Having all those images, guys, was a little overwhelming for me this time. It took me hours to put all this stuff in because nobody, all the images were not named, so the same. So everything was like a big. Everything got downloaded, and then I'm like, okay, what image belongs to who? And I'm like, oh, I had to go through I can't believe I missed that because I went through the emails over and over again to make sure I got them. But they must have been stacked on top of each other in the email, so I didn't see them. So
well, we're not talking badly about you. You did.
Okay, I'm talking badly about myself.
What probably happened, Lynn, if you look at the email. It shows the file names of 3 attachments, and then after that, it just says plus 3 more.
Oh, okay. I probably missed it that way. Yeah. Okay.
I thought you did an amazing job because I know I drove you crazy. Stuff
Jim, I have a question.
Thank
Do you have a class how to make a texture together in our web?
Yeah, I've done 2 of them, and I can post the link to where you can find the recordings.
So which day? So about which month? I've traveled a lot, so I miss this.
They're videos, Wong. They're videos.
I'll put the link in the chat box in a minute. Let me.
They weren't.
Let me look up the link.
Yeah, they weren't club education. They were outside the club, Fong.
Huh?
They weren't. They weren't meetings. They weren't Zoom meetings. They were for the club. He did them separately on his potluck dinner things. So yeah, you won't find it on the website.
You can post a link on the website, Lynn, if you want. I don't mind, but I'm going to put it in the. I'll put it in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Put it on chat. Okay.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
Yeah, let me go get the link and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. All right, now, Deborah. Here's the thing. You came in here with 2 awesome, great images. You cannot, and I repeat, cannot go any lower than 0.2 below what you just entered. Otherwise, you are going to get a reputation.
She
Okay.
won't. She won't.
It's just, I can't tell you how helpful it is. You know, it's so hard to look at your own photographs and see them critically, or at least it is for me. So this is just enormously helpful. So
You're gonna get to me like Deborah, like me, Deborah, when you hear their voices in your head when you're editing. Halo.
no, that's great, because
highlights.
I mean, I'm right now, I'm slogging through all my photos. I mean, you're gonna laugh, but over the last 2 years, I took over 600,000 photos.
Look at the shot behind her.
So I'm slugging through those and trying to narrow them down and, you know, decide what to process and what not to. And it's just overwhelming. So
Just look at the shot behind you.
Yeah.
your polar bear shot.
That was Svalbard.
Yeah, I know. Trying to get Moen to go there.
All right, guys. Any
Night.
other comments?
Thanks, everybody.
Great
night.
Okay, the link is in the chat for anybody
Okay,
who wants
thank
it.
you,
And
Professor.
and Lynn, if you want to put that on the website, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you, Jim.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody.
Thank you,
Good night.
Good
Take
night.
care.
All right,
Have
we'll
a
see you
good
guys
week.
next Thursday.
Hey.
Yep.
Good night.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Good night.
Thanks
Night.
for sticking with us.
Yeah, I'll let her.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Diana,
Night.
I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Say good night, Dick.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
All right.
Night, everybody.
Is Jim still there? No, he just left, didn't he? I just want to ask him a question.